thing in this case. Right here it's going to be like a more of a reddish gray, but we're going to implement that into it later probably. So now that we have like all the darkest shades and everything, or not like the darkest, but we have a good idea where the shadows are going to come, are gonna be, I'm gonna switch to a darker gray, and I'm gonna go in and add some more detail. So this is the mid-tone, right? So I'm just adding some more detail. And I also believe that this Rex has stripes, so I'm gonna try to put them in as well. But I might actually do that first with the lightest gray again, because at some areas it's gonna be very bright in your drawing. And now pay attention to this little line that we drew here, because we want to go towards that line and then go down a little bit. And we want to continue on doing that throughout the entire body of this Rex. And some of the stripes are actually like changing direction midway a little bit. It's almost like tiger stripes. It looks really cool. I really like this Rex design that they came up with. I think I just touched the camera, I'm sorry. But anyways, let's just continue on layering some dark lines. And this whole area is also like colored pretty grayish. And this is a green gray, by the way. So it is supposed to be kind of greenish. Alright, here we go. So now we want to switch to the mid-tone, like I said. We're going to go to the brush side. If you don't have a brush, everything that I'm showing you guys right now can also work perfectly without a brush tip marker. So you can just use like the bullet nib, which is perfectly fine. Nothing to worry about there. So now we're going to actually look at where the sun is going to be hitting. So it looks like the sun will hit it from the front, right? So from here. So everything that's like facing, so basically from this side, right? Everything that's facing the sun will be in light, and everything that's kind of like away from the sun will get really dark, especially like around the eye, which is like a trademark thing of the T-Rex. Very dark spots around the eyes. And then behind this ridge is going to be some shadow, obviously. And then of course the head will cast a shadow onto the neck as well. And there's actually a lot more shadow going on over here that I didn't actually completely draw in. But that's fine, we can do it now. And yeah, we just want to go in and finish up some of those areas, because here obviously there's going to be a lot of shadow, same as over here. Like this whole area just be dark, and then the body, basically the stripes, I'm actually going to go to the stripes now. So the part that's like directly into the sun will look a little lighter, which is why we drew this line over here, because that plane is like facing the sun a little bit extra, like a little bit more than all the other spots. But we can still draw in pretty high amount of detail. And same over here, like just gonna draw in some of those stripes, you know, that are on this T-Rex. And we want to draw in some of these lines that are like going towards the top of the jaw, and it's starting to look pretty nice in my opinion. Like, it doesn't look bad at all. We do want to darken in all of these little scales that we drew, even though they might be completely facing the sun. We still want to draw them in. Alright, so now we can switch to our darkest gray and go to the absolute darkest areas, which is going to be like around the eye. Be really dark. try not to go into the eye too much. And we can draw in some extra detail there. We just go over some of the little spots over there. Right? And we can draw like some extra detail over here as well, because this is going to be really dark, like this whole area over here. And then over here as well, like this is really dark. But there also are some details over there, so we are going to try to put in some curved lines here for like the neck and everything, you know, like we're not just going to leave it blank. And like a couple of very tiny lines that are like still like overlapping each other, like wrinkles. That's basically what it is. And those wrinkles will cause for pieces of skin that are like you know, like really dark, but also pieces of skin that are like pushed into the sun a little bit further, because they're portraying what do you call that, portraying out. I don't even know what the word is. Well, you know what I mean, right? Like when you push something out a little bit further, it just creates this little bit of extra part of skin that can catch a little bit more sun, if that makes sense. And we're just putting a little bit of extra detail here and there, like just putting some dots and lines here and there, just to indicate that there is some detail going on. And this is actually supposed to be a little bit darker, but that's okay. We can just leave it like that. And then over here, we're gonna like create some dots here and there, which are gonna be like portraying like the skills that are like, I don't even know what the word is, like I completely forgot. So if you want to have thinner lines, by the way, you can use the chisel tip and just use the edge to create some of those little extra details. Alright, so now we are almost completely done with this. All we need to do now is go in with the orange, yellow, and mid orange, whatever you call it, I don't know. But we can just start off with the darkest orange, right? And we're gonna look at where we actually need to apply this. So I'm just gonna go in and around the eye, because I do want it to have like an orange tone, like a greenish orangey tone. I'm just gonna go in and give it like a little bit of extra. And I might actually have to be a little bit more careful with where I'm gonna place all of these colors, but at the darkest areas I just want to have like that little bit of extra orange, if that makes sense. Just at the darkest areas. I'm not gonna go anywhere else than like the darkest grays. And I'm doing this fairly quickly actually. I'm not even caring about like how accurate, again. Like this is for the people that just casually like to draw. Alright. And now we can go to our mid-tone. And everywhere where we have like normal colors that aren't directly in the sun, we can just go over it with this color. But as soon as you get to areas where there's like more sun, we just want to wait it out and don't go over it yet. Like for example over here, there's going to be a very light patch of skin, right? Alright, and now in between those dark lines right over here, we want to create like this yellowish orangey look. And I'm just putting in like a couple of like very nasty looking lines, and it's not even covering everything completely because we still have one ace up our sleeves, the bright yellow. And this might actually be too bright. I'm actually looking at it, it is too bright, I'm gonna grab a lighter yellow. This is the wrong one. So right now, the one I'm using is like the bright one, this one. But we want to have this one. This one is a little softer. So I'm gonna try to find that one. It's Y04. All right, already found it. There we go. So now we want to go over everything over here, right? And just add that little bit of extra yellow, and not even like covering everything completely, just very lightly, right? Very lightly. And especially in these areas, like they have a lot of highlight going on, and if we go over it too much, it might just not look very good. And over here we can go over everything over here. You can just go over everything and just cover everything, make sure everything is covered. And there we have the T-Rex. Well, of course we're not done yet, because we still have some gray. Even though I didn't pick them yet, I'm gonna pick them now. We need some yellow grays because this body is just a little too light over here. In my opinion, it should be a little darker, a little bit more toned. So I'm gonna find some yellowish grays. All right, I found them, and it's the same exact concept. You know, you have the darkest one, which is this one, then the mid-tone, and then the light tone. So for every color that you use, I want you to always pick 3 colors: dark, mid, and light. But we're gonna first go over it with the mid-tone, because I don't really feel like we're gonna use the dark tone too much. But right here at the bottom, we want to create like a little bit of extra toning, you know, making it a little bit darker here. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be there, you know. And over here as well. And even over here, there's a little bit too much of, it's a little too light still, so that's why we're going over it, making it look a little bit lighter, or a little bit darker, I'm sorry. And we're refining the skin tone a little more. Alright, same here. Now we're gonna go to the lightest. Wait, didn't we already go? No, this is the lightest. We're gonna go to the lightest. We're actually gonna go over this area a little bit more. We can actually, in theory, we can actually go over everything with the lightest color, because this just gives the, you know, it gives it a little bit of a different look. It's not as yellow anymore. It's a little bit more grayish because of this. And that's exactly what we want over here as well. There we go. And later, we're even going to go back in with a white gel pen. And if you're using colored pencils, you can just use a very soft colored pencil. Or you can also use like a very light, very white light gel pen. By the way, this is also supposed to be that color over here. That's good. Now we need some reds, or I mean like some pinks, and this is going to be tough because we need to find the right kinds of pinks. So it's almost like an orangey pink color, which I don't think I have here. Let's see. I mean, this looks pretty promising. So that's E010. Actually, I'll be back when I get this. Alright, so I'm back, and here we have the pink colors for the inside of the mouth and like these jaw flaps areas. So first we're gonna go with the lightest color. Actually, we're gonna go with the mid-tone, and we're gonna go over like the outsides of the flaps over here, like this. And over here we can cover it like completely. And we kind of want to try to blend this as best as we can. There we go. That's actually already looking kind of good. Don't really need to do much more there. We do, however, need to go to the inside of the mouth. And over here, same thing. I'm going to start with this, right? And over here as well, we're going to start with this color. Then we're going to leave like a white area, like a highlighted area right there. There we go. And now we're going to go to the lightest pink that we have. And we are going to go over it at every part that we didn't get yet to make the transition a little bit smoother. And that already looks really good, really good. Now for the tongue, same thing, just color it in, but we have some highlights that we need to pay attention to. Same thing over here, we have a couple little highlights here and there. We don't want to draw in too much of. There we go. I'm just going to make it a little darker here and there by adding more pigment. Right? And the same thing applies to like this area, like the gums of the teeth. Just going to go over that. Make sure that it's pink, so everybody knows that it is part of the mouth, you know, like part of the inside of the mouth. And my dog is going to start barking. Finn, stop. My dog is very alert and he constantly wants to start barking at everything, which is not very good. But yeah, that's my dog. Alright, now we're going to go in with the darkest one. And we're just going to get like the darkest spots in the mouth. And then eventually we're going to go over it with a reddish gray to lock in the actual like shadows in the darkest areas of the whole mouth. Because now it still doesn't look amazing, but it's about to look a lot better. Alright, let me find some red grays. Alright, I have my red grays, and same concept, light, mid, and dark. And we just want to like add that little bit of extra detail here and there, like that little bit of extra depth and shadow that we didn't get yet because we didn't have the right tones. And we're just going to go over that, and then later we're going to go over that with a darker gray. I am so sorry that my dog just suddenly started barking. I hope that didn't hurt your ears. But we're just going to continue on where we left off, right? So now we're going to go to the middle gray, the middle tone, the mid-tone. And we're just going to lay out the foundation to where the big shadows are actually going to be, right? And try not to go overboard too much with like, because you also need those highlights. We also need like those tones that are still like coming through that aren't too dark, you know, like the pink tones that we put down before. And we can actually also add some more shadow over here because this area isn't completed yet. We can complete it now by just adding this little bit of extra little detail here and there, and some like thin lines that kind of indicate that it's not completely one flat surface, but instead there's a lot of stuff going on there. Same thing applies over here, but not too much because this is like almost directly in the sun, so you wouldn't really be able to see much detail there. Now we're gonna go to the darkest reddish gray. And we are going to add the darkest area over here. We might actually have to layer this a couple times because it's not really dark enough. And I might also have to go over it again with like the lighter grays because some areas just don't blend very well yet. We're just gonna keep on layering pigment in there until it is what we desire, right? Like the darkness that we desire. And underneath the tongue over here we can also add this gray that shows that, and there's an ambulance. I hope the person is okay that's in that ambulance, or that's gonna be in that ambulance. I really hope so. May God bless them. Alright, so we're just adding a little bit extra detail here and there, right? And I actually really like this tone over like the yellowish gray that we've used. So we're gonna go in and just add a little bit of extra shadow here and there where I believe that we need it a little bit more. Like right here. Right, this could be a lot darker. But this is actually a more natural shading color in my opinion. Like it looks a lot better. And actually they're supposed to be shadowed like this. And it's supposed to go like this. And then like that. And that whole area is supposed to be shaded in. So I'm gonna do that right now. We already have the foundation of like the other shading that we did with like the grays. So it shouldn't be too bad. And that actually creates quite a nice little bit of shadow over there. I want to do the same over here, like add just a little bit of extra shadow here and there, and also right here. Alright, here we go. Okay, so to make it blend more, obviously we're gonna have to go over it with like the lightest color, which is in this case like the yellow, so that it kind of like blends a little bit better. And this way you just keep on layering everything bit by bit so that it looks compatible, you know, that the colors starting to blend a little bit and starting to look compatible with each other. And actually that is, I actually need to use this one for this. This is like the yellow gray to blend those edges, like smooth them a little bit more out. And I don't want to go over it too much because I'm actually losing some detail here and there because I've been going over it like a ton of times. But right now it looks fine. So now I want to go over it with the lightest gray again, the red gray in the mouth, to try and blend this a little bit better. And actually I could also do that with the pink that we have, right? That actually might look a little bit better. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna go to the lightest pink that we have, or actually this color, the orange, and I'm gonna fill in those areas that are like insanely white still. because I want it to kind of look like just a little bit of like a little bit more color. All right, now I want to go to the darkest pink and actually get in between the gums again, because they still don't look pink enough in my opinion. So I'm gonna pinken them up a little bit. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're still gonna do it. There we go. And later on we're gonna come back in with some highlights. Now we are finally at the part where we can add the grass. So the grass, you want to start off with the very lightest color, right? Which is in this case actually going to be yellow, right? So the yellow that we've already used, we're going to use it to make grass. Yeah. So we're just going to create like a bunch of weirdly shaped yellowish stripes, right? It doesn't even have to look like grass just yet, but this is just the under layer, you know, like the first layer that basically makes everything look less white if you don't cover everything like completely. I'm actually going to do it like this. It's a lot faster. It might not look as good, but it's going to be a lot faster. So I'm just going to do it like this, right? Here we go. And now I'm gonna go in with the orange first, a little bit of orange, and just create a couple of these, right? And it might not look like a lot right now, but this is gonna be the first layer. And later on, we're gonna go in and create more layers. I also want to have that orange like go in front of the dinosaur, like so, because you can barely actually see the jaws and stuff, like the bottom, like where the jaws end in this picture. Alright, just like so. And again, this is going to be like the first layer, so don't expect too much from this. The secret is in the amount of layers that you put in into something, especially if you're going to draw backgrounds and stuff like that. Alright, I think that would be enough for now. Now we're going to go to the lightest green, actually. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to layer some green grass like on top. We might need a lot more darker colors later, but again, this is just, it's just a question of like layering the right colors on top. And again, if we want to have like finer lines, we can always go in like this, right? Then we would have finer lines, but I'm not looking for those just yet, because first I want to have like the foundation to where it looks like it's really busy, and then eventually we're going to go over it with like darker green. But first we're going to get this one. We're just going to create like some areas where there's going to be like a darker grass type. Especially like at the bottom, you want to have some more grass, or a darker grass actually. And it is missing some of its like very vibrant grass over here, and I might actually go over that with like a white pen, and then just put in some yellowish grass over there. But that's something that we're gonna focus on a little later on. And I just want to have some pockets like this. They don't all have to connect with each other, but just want to have some of those darker pockets and lighter pockets. And now with the darkest one, we're actually first going to focus on the little plant that is right in front of the dinosaur over here. And we're just going to draw in some of those leaves right here. And it just has like a couple of leaves just going straight in front of the dinosaur, and then a couple of them like going to the side. And we're gonna like color that in later with like a lighter gel pen, right? And then just create like the more details on it and stuff like that. And then we also want to have like some darker pockets of grass. The closer you get to the camera, you're gonna see more of those darker areas of grass as well. And then right here, there's obviously going to be like a lot of darker strings of grass, right? I don't even know if you call them strings of grass, but yeah, you guys know what I'm trying to say. I imagine, at least, like I hope so. There's gonna be like pockets of like very tiny pockets of where the grass is kind of like curling up, and that creates like a little bit of shading underneath it, like that. I don't know what it looks like on camera. For me it looks really bad. But I mean, it's alright, right? It's not that bad. I want to go back in and actually get these stripes in a little bit more pronounced, because I don't like how they look right now. They look a little neglected at the moment. I'm just gonna go back in and put them back in. Maybe over here as well at the bottom. We don't really see it in the reference, but I'm just going off like, you know, like just improvising right now to see what looks better. That makes sense. Alright, I want to go to the lightest gray again, and then just fade these two colors in a little bit better. There we go. And let's see, what else do we need to add? We can add some more darker shadows by going in with like the gray over here. And it still looks kind of greenish, but that's because this is like a greenish gray. But I just want to like make sure that this is gonna be, you know, looking detailed. I want the front to be more detailed than the back, obviously. Like you can see that, like if you look at the back of the drawing, it doesn't look very detailed, but that is because I'm trying to, you know, make this work this way. Alright, so now we need to go in with a white pen, and we're just gonna create these pockets of highlight here and there in these couple of like plants that I drew in front over there. And we might also add like a little bit of like the white, like a couple of highlighted grass strings are like coming up there, and here and there, like there's just going to be a little bit of highlight of the grass sometimes, and we're going to go over that with like a yellowish color to kind of like indicate that that is supposed to be like a yellowish highlight. I'm going to do the same over here, and don't go overboard with this, like don't do it too much. It is just to you know, get it a little bit more closer to the reference photo. So now I'm gonna go in, and everywhere where the sun, oh, I need to be careful because I'm smudging it. Everywhere where the sun would be directly touching the dinosaur, I'm gonna create like some pockets of white here and there, like here, especially here as well. And then over here we would have like a little bit of extra light touching it as well, and that might create a little bit of extra detail on the bottom jaw right there. And then over here there's going to be like that little patch of detail as well. And then over here at the back of this dinosaur, I'm just gonna, you know, like draw this highlight over there and over here as well, so you can clearly see that the sun is hitting there. And then I want to have like a couple of scales that are like protruding. That's the word that I was looking for actually before. Protruding out, creating these little spots of highlights here and there, right? So we're almost done right now. We just need to go over it with the white and with the yellow. I mean, that's what we're gonna do right now. Let's see what that's gonna look like. Yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. And we can also leave some areas like a little bit wider. Actually looks fine. Again, I have no idea what this looks like on camera. I really truly hope that it's gonna be good, but I can't say anything just yet. I do want this to blend in a little bit better with the background, because this is just a little bit too harsh for me still. I'm just gonna go over it until it kind of blends away. Just like what I did over there. A little bit too harsh, but that's all right. That's totally fine. So what did I say? What do we need? Oh yeah, we need to color in the red of the eye. Well, actually it's not completely red, it's actually orange and dark orange. At the top and at the bottom you have a little bit of dark orange. Wait, which one did I use? Oh, it's the wrong palette. Okay. So Y180, where is that one? There we go. Well, actually Y210 might be better. We're gonna use a very dark orange here, and we're gonna go into the top of the eye right there, and that creates a decently realistic looking eye, in my opinion. I might have just ruined it. I mean, it's alright, it's alright, it's not that bad. Okay, so all we need right now is the autograph. Where's my pen? There we go. And I might actually need to do it with like a white gel pen or something, because do I even have that pen still? Alright, well, I'm just gonna do it like this then, with a dark pen. I'm just gonna put my autograph right here. There we go. So I really hope that I helped a couple of you guys out. This is not for the, you know, for the most advanced drawers, but it's pretty decent for somebody that is, you know, just casually drawing and they just want to draw this scene. So if you liked the video, leave a like, comment below what you think about the video and the drawing in general, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss a single video. This was Dinosaur, and I'll see you guys in the next video.